live from the new sports betting capital of the world.
You might be from Texas, but I'm from New Jersey.
Benny Ricciardi is here to break down the day's betting board for you.
Let's go, Jerry. Go!
Taking a first look at the day's bets, it's time for the FTN Betting Show. Welcome to the FTN Bets Cast for Wednesday, June 15th here at FTN Bets, sponsored by our friends over at Sleeper. Sleeper is the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of players, and now you can win on Sleeper by joining in their new over-under game as well. It's super easy to play. So first, in any sport, you're going to choose two or more players that you like, and you're going to pick whether they're going to go over or under their listed total. So for example, in tomorrow's NBA Finals, it could be something like the number of points scored, maybe the number of rebounds, the number of turnovers a guy had. Then you're going to choose an amount of money you want to enter into the contest. And if you pick correctly, you could win anywhere from 2 times your money all the way up to 20 times your money if you go 5 for 5 and get them all correct. But the main reason why I'm excited about the over-under game on Sleeper is that it's the only app where you can join with your buddies and all play together. It has a built-in group chat where I can see what you're playing, you can see what I'm playing. We could all see what the guy who won 3 days in a row in our group is playing, and we can follow along. And it's insanely fun when everybody's riding it out together, rooting for the same things to happen. So stop what you're doing now and download Sleeper to play in their new over-under game. Have some fun with your friends and make a little bit of money in the process. On your mobile phone, you can join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/FTNbets, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Again, go down to the description in this podcast, sleeper.com/FTNbets, and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. There are terms and conditions that apply, so make sure you see Sleeper's terms of use for the details. And now we're going to get on to the fun part of the day, which is us talking about a little bit of PGA US Open golf that's going to be starting tomorrow on Thursday. And as you guys know, there are lots of things I know a lot about. MLB baseball is one, NBA basketball is another, NFL is another, but PGA is not my strong suit. But luckily, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the new addition to FTN. Our boy Josh Culp decided to stop by this morning to talk a little bit of US Open golf with us. Josh, how's it going, my man?
Hey, good to be here. Excited for a big week at Brookline.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and we're going to talk about a couple of the things that some of our degenerates out there really want to know so that they can get some money down this week. But before we do, why don't you let everybody know what you're going to be doing over here at FTN and where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to be offering stats and projections over at FTNDaily as well as FTNBets. And, the split stats, we'll look at, who plays better under certain conditions and who to target as far as projections. It's just going to be a lot of tools and stats that can help you make your bets or picks.
Yeah, and I already read Josh's article this morning here a little bit, and we were joking before the show that I was like, you know what, it's the US Open week. Josh is over here. I want to check out his work and, kind of follow along with some of the stuff he's talking about. So I sat down and I made a DFS lineup, and then there were some guys that I didn't get a chance to fit in that lineup. So I had to make another one, and then another one. And then I got about a dozen of them in there right now. So apparently I'm playing a lot of PGA DFS this week, but we also want to get in some bets here. So Josh, let me ask you a couple quick questions here. We'll see if we can, kind of narrow down some things for people to look at out there. This week, we're at Brookline, the country club up in Massachusetts. It's a par 70 on the course. And one thing that, I noticed from my friends who do bet a lot on golf is one thing that they're always looking for with their bets is to kind of understand the course profile, because some courses are better for guys who hit it long. Some are better for guys who have, good short games, guys that are better, with the putter. So what is kind of the profile this week that we should be looking for on guys who can do well in the US Open?
Yeah, I think what you said there at the end, guys who can do well at a US Open fits more than the course specifically, because the way the USGA sets it up, it's always the same style of players that rise to the top. Great drivers, first of all, with an emphasis on distance. The big hitters have an edge usually, and then when you get to these USGA setups, the around the green and putting matters a little bit more than the average tour stop.
One of the other things that I know a lot of people talk about coming into a major is always momentum, right? Guys that are playing well. Are there any guys that are playing really well coming into this that, kind of stand out to you?
Yeah. If you watched last week in Canada, Justin Rose, matched the course record at St. George's. And I think something like that can carry over some big momentum because, it's a similar course they saw last week as far as classical with small greens. So I think Rose is going to be able to carry over some momentum, and, you might be able to hit him up in his 3-ball matchup against, Gary Woodland and Bryson DeChambeau, who are both, battling injuries over the last year. So someone like Rose at plus 140 in their opening 3-ball, I kind of like that.
Ooh, an opening 3-ball play. I like this here. And now, do you think he has a chance to win it all? Because right now, I'm just going over to FTN bets at the moment and clicking on the prop shop, typing in Justin Rose to see all the different bets that we have. And you can see all the books over there that we work with. It'll give you all of the numbers on what he is to finish top 5 to top 10, top 20, top 30, where he's going to be after round 1. Like Josh was talking about here is his 3-ball matchup as well. He's 70-1 is the high number for him over on FanDuel. Think that might be worth a little bit of a wager?
Yeah, it's a little asking a little too much to win maybe for Rose with the way his game has been over the last 2 years. But I think definitely a top 20 is well within his range of outcomes. And after that Sunday at St. George's, definitely think he'll get off to a hot start.
Yeah, interesting here on the top 20. I just scrolled down a little bit over on the prop shop here. PointsBet has this at plus 135. FanDuel has it at plus 145. But you can get it as high as plus 225 over on Sugar House, Bet Rivers, or Unibet if you have access to any of them. And even DraftKings, who almost everybody has access to, plus 210 over there on DraftKings for Justin Rose top 20. So another interesting one that we could look at here. Let's look at some of the favorites here real quick. So there's 4 guys really in the top group of favorites that are under 20-1 here today. Let's see. You can get Rory McIlroy is pretty much the prohibitive favorite overall. You could get him as high as plus 1,100 on BetMGM is the best price we can find on him. Justin Thomas plus 1,200 on PointsBet, FanDuel, and MGM. You have John Rahm at plus 1,500 on FanDuel and PointsBet if you're looking to play him. And Scotty Scheffler is plus 1,500 on FanDuel and PointsBet there. Now, if you want to know which one of these is Josh's favorite, you can get over to FTNDaily right now. Use promo code Benny. You can save 20% off over there. Read Josh's article because he tells you which of these favorites is his favorite. But what I want to ask him right now is which of these 4 favorites that we just mentioned here is your least favorite, and why is it John Rahm?
Exactly. It is John Rahm. It's hard to find weaknesses in those 4. They're the top 4 for a reason on the odds board. But if you're want to get nitpicky, like I mentioned, around the green play is something that's been a little more predictive in US Opens, and that's kind of the area where John Rahm struggles when he does. So Rahm would be the guy I would cut out there if I had to remove one entirely.
All right, so there you go. You got 3 other favorites to choose from. And like I said, if you want to know which of those 3 is Josh's favorite, get over to FTN Daily and check out his article here. How about if we were looking at some of the guys in that next range of golfers, right? There's probably about 20, let's say 20, 25 guys I'm looking at here that are, between 2,000 and 4,000, plus 2,000, plus 4,000. Guys like Jordan Spieth, Cam Smith, Dustin Johnson, Morikawa, Daniel Berger, Matsuyama. Anybody there, any of that second tier of guys behind those top 4 favorites that you're interested in?
I mean, everyone you kind of listed there, I'm kind of lower than the market on.
Okay.
There's just kind of flaws in some of their games right now. But someone in that area, I don't have the number up right now, but Matthew Fitzpatrick, I think 25 around there is where he was sitting. I think he's definitely going to be someone that loves this course as far as, finding fairways, hitting greens, and then having to scramble. That's one of his strengths. So I think Fitzpatrick would be someone to eye there in that second tier.
Yeah, plus 2,800 on BetMGM right now for him to get the win. Plus 450 for a top 5, plus 190 for a top 10, and minus 125 for a top 20. So, the bettors out there are definitely kind of backing Fitzy to have a pretty good week here overall. All right, so Josh, while I got you here, one thing we always try to do at the end of the show is give a DGen bet out there for, some of those guys that want to try to hit a home run here today. Is there a long shot in this? Is there a 80 to 1, 100 to 1 guy that, if everything fell just right and, he got the good draw and everything happens well, somebody that could surprise, that could come and just kind of rain money down on our degenerate friends out there?
So I don't have the long shot right now, but an interesting degen option would be to stack up if your book lets you parlay miss the cut plays.
Okay.
This is the hardest cut to make in golf. It's only top 60 in ties. So as low as 38% could make the cut. So if you want to load up some names, like I think two that are interesting are Billy Horschel to miss the cut and Louis Oosthuizen to miss the cut. They're both plus money, and they're both like Oosthuizen's kind of ready to retire, and Horschel kind of has a little finger injury that may or may not affect his swing.
Ooh, all right. So there you go. Some interesting options for the degens out there. If you can get it on your book, let's parlay together some of those missed cut bets and see if we can make some money on there. Josh, thank you very much for stopping by. Let everybody know what your Twitter handle is. This way they could all follow you if they're not already. And if you're listening to golf and you're not, what are you doing wrong right now? Go ahead.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Future of Fantasy, or pretty much any site at Future of Fantasy. So yeah.
All right, so there you go. Josh, thanks for stopping by. This is Benny Ricciardi signing off for the FTN Betscast here at FTN Bets, sponsored by our good friends over at Sleeper. Good luck today, everybody.
Live from the new sports betting capital of the world.
You might be from Texas, but I'm from New Jersey.